Alright, so let's do some just kind of goofy stuff. I've been finding some loose Dreamcasts, and I needed a power cable and a AV cable, so I bought those. And then this, I have a loose 32X. This is a 32X. This is a third-party 32X patch cable. So this will actually help me complete one of the 32X. I have 3 32Xs, 2 boxed, and one of them is loose, and it doesn't have one of these. It's missing one of the shield plates and some other miscellaneous accessory. But this will help me complete that. If you want to know more about my 32X collection, I have a video. One of my past videos. You can take a look at it. Alright. And along with those, I bought this big goofy bundle. 20 Sega Game Gear cases. This is going to go with some of the Game Gear games I bought at PRGE. I got a bunch of them loose. I figure some of these are yellow, so I don't know. I don't really like the yellow ones, but what the heck. The guy gave me a really good deal at the end of the day. So I saw these at the Northwest Classic Gamers Expo too, and I didn't buy them then, and I thought, why didn't I buy them? But I bought them this time, so I'll put my Game Gear games in there. All right, let's see. Moving on. We'll do Saturn and Dreamcast. Grandia, Sega Saturn import. I do have the, what do they call it, the Pro Action? It's not what it's called. The replay? I forget what it's called. It's sitting right up there. I'll call it the Pro Action replay. I can't remember what it's called. It allows me to play import games. I bought Ogre Battle at PRGE, and I bought Grandia at this event.
Grandia is a really good game.
I've played Grandia. I played Grandia for the PlayStation, and it was long. It was over 100 hours. I kind of got sick of it towards the end. This kind of comes. It looks like it comes complete. Look, there's a postcard in here and adventure manual. Smells a little musty. 2 discs. They're in great shape. This game was cheap, I thought, and I've played the PlayStation version. This is just here mostly for collections. I'll probably pop it in, but it's an RPG, and I can't read Japanese well enough to navigate an RPG. So this is just for looking at, and I might try it once, and then it'll sit on my shelf. And I bought it because the Sega Saturn version of Grandia is supposed to be the best version. So I thought, what the heck? I do have that card, and I can play import games, so why not? Okay, Dreamcast. NHL 2K2. I think in my Dreamcast video I mentioned that this was one of the games that I wanted to get. It says $5. That's not what I paid for it. The case is in good shape. The disc is in good shape. It's one of the Dreamcast games I wanted, and so they had it there, and it was in good shape, so I bought it. And then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Again, also from my Dreamcast video, I think I mentioned that Tony Hawk Pro Skater was the only All-Stars orange label Dreamcast game that I had. So I always wanted to get the white label, and I saw this there. It was only $4. I didn't buy it because I'm like, well, $4 just for the label seems kind of stupid. But by the time I got to the end of the day, it was still sitting there, and I just asked the guy if he'd do 2. And he did. It was that same guy. It was that guy who sold me the Nintendo Powers and the Dragon Warrior thing.
Yeah.
I went back to his table 3 or 4 times because I always like getting stuff from him.
Yeah.
But he just gave this to me for $2. It's basically a label upgrade for me. So happy to have that. And I'll take the All-Stars, the hideous orange All-Stars, out of my collection. Alright, and finally, Genesis. Oh, this is just some random stuff. Sports, Arnold Palmer Tournament Golf and Pat Riley Basketball. Now, these are sports games. They were just a couple of dollars each. They're complete. The only reason I bought them is because these are some of the first Genesis games that ever came out. I remember seeing them in GamePro and Sega Visions, and they're somewhat nostalgic for me. I never played them, but they were always sort of the first games, and they had the screenshots of these games, and it was always really impressive. It's like, wow, that's really, those 16-bit graphics are really something. So I bought them. They're early Genesis games. And I bought Joe Montana 2, Sports Talk Football. I have the Sega Classics version. It's all red, and it's got a smaller picture in the front, and it's basically a greatest hits version of this game, and I don't like that. So this was, I think this was $2 or $1. So I grabbed it, and I'll just get rid of the other one. I think I'll give it to Eric, your brother. He's got Joe Montana 1. I'm sure he'll take this one in greatest hits packaging for free. And if he doesn't, then I don't know what. I'll give it to somebody else. Anyway, so I picked that up because it was cheap. Virtual Racing. I mentioned at some point I did want to get this game for the Genesis. I have the Saturn and the 32X version, and I wanted to see what the Genesis version was like, and it was complete. It's got this big cartridge. It's got the special SVP. I forget what they call that. The Sega. I don't know. Sega video processor or something, featuring SVP technology, polygon graphics, and incredible speed. So anyway, it's got its own chip in here. So the cartridge is extra double tall. It's got the manual. I did not notice that that's because she wasn't with me. That the back, sort of like pinball. I guess I didn't do a very good job of looking at the backs of games. It's all cut up. There's a cutout, and the plastic is cut, and that normally wouldn't bother me, except this is a completely custom case. I can't even swap it for another one. So I was bummed when I found that out. I didn't discover that until I got home. But still excited to have this game and try it out, see what it looks like on the Genesis. And finally, maybe the supreme pickup of the meet, the expo for me. This was
That put you over your budget.
It put me over the budget. I bought it right at the end of the day. I was already at my budget.
That was
It put
okay.
me over.
I actually told him he should have bought 2, but...
Well, yeah. But she was actually okay with it, which I was surprised about. This is a prototype game, and it's one that they were selling. They created specifically for the expo, or the swap meet, and they had a limited run of them. They had 35, and I wasn't going to buy one. I do have a 32X. I've got a collection. I'm never going to get a complete collection because I already sold off half of it. I decided I was never going to try to do that, but at the end of the day, this seemed like something that was worth picking up. This is a prototype of Spot Goes to Hollywood. It's an unreleased 32X game that somebody, who I should know, but I don't, bought the prototype for and made 35 copies just for this expo. And since I was at the expo, I thought I should get one of these. I ended up getting number 26. I just kind of looked at the ones that I liked the best at the end of the day, based on the case and the cartridge label and the manual. So these are all custom made. I haven't tried this yet, but yeah, I thought this was probably something that I should have. I have number 26. That's the one I picked. And this is something unique to the Cowlitz Gamers Expo for this year. So I'll hang on to that. It'll go in my 32X collection. Really excited to have it, and it put me over my budget, but Melissa was okay with that. So all the better. So that's it.
That's everything.
Quite a few of the people who were there. I think there are 6 of these left, and he was advertising them on Nintendo Age right now. So most of them sold out. I guess 29 of them sold, and I got number 26. They didn't sell in order. I would have, this is just the one that I thought was the best of the ones that were left when I bought it. But this is probably the most interesting pickup for me of the meet. So
this is like your only kind of odd.
Yeah, I don't normally
Thing
care
you
for
do, like,
prototypes or
movie
translations
prototypes
or any of
or-
that stuff, but
or
it is for
repros.
32X, and there's sort of a special place in my heart for the 32X. And since I was at this expo, and this was kind of the unique thing there, I
And it's
thought
the first one.
Oh, and
kind
it's
of like a neat.
and it's for it was for
Yeah,
charity.
It was for charity, so that's
That's
really
the other
important. Part.
And I guess what I wanted to say is, so this is the first year in, it's got to be, I don't know, 10 years where I bought a new 32X game. And so I have this weird little thing that I like to do where I like to try to get at least one game for as many systems as possible during the year. And so this year, getting a 32X game, I may try to shoot for them all. Which, it's a little tricky. I don't know the exact number. I forget how many different systems. I mean, I don't have a lot. It's probably around 18 or 19 different game systems. Unique systems where, unique libraries. And so with the 32X, that's a little unusual. So it means I need to get, the hardest ones are going to be a Master System game and a Sega CD game and a PlayStation Portable game and a Super Nintendo game. I haven't bought a Super Nintendo game yet this year. I forget what else. Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Color? Or did you
No, I might need to get a Game Boy Color. I've gotten some Game Boy games, but not technically the Game Boy Color games. So I think we went through it. There's like 8.
Yeah, I think so.
8. So it's maybe like a third or 2/5 of the amount of systems I have. But with this 32X one, I'm going to be really tempted to try to find games for every system, just so I can say every system I got at least one new game for. Okay, anyway, we'll let you know if that ever happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
But that's it. That's my pickup. I almost stayed under budget, but I didn't quite. Very excited to fill in some of the gaps in my collection, and that's it. I guess we'll do a March pickup in a week or two.
Because we talked about it.
With everything but this stuff, and March is turning out to look pretty big too. We've done a couple of Craigslist things, and I got some stuff online. So anyway,
We're supposed
we'll
to cut
see.
back.
We're supposed to cut back. Well, I sold some stuff on eBay, so I had a little money in my pocket. So we'll see what we do in the next week.
Yeah.
There's only 1 week left in March. So anyway, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like us and subscribe.